Hey, this is John Graham, and you're watching the director's commentary for Arby and the Chief Season 5, Episode 13, called Collapse. I'm the writer-director on the show, and this is the season finale, and a monster of an episode at about 31 minutes. That's longer than a typical TV show, you know, which call themselves half-hour shows, but are really like 22 minutes if you cut out the commercials and stuff. This is like 31 minutes just straight up content, so a lot of work went into it, particularly the writing, not the the writing too, but the editing process was particularly grueling because I had a thing with Rooster Teeth I had to do. Normally I would have just asked for like an extra week between the release and just like have put out another commentary or something, but I had to get this finale done before I went out to Texas for a few days to shoot a couple shorts with Rooster Teeth in Texas, which is super fun. They're really cool guys, and that was for a charity film screening here in Vancouver called Red vs. Blue CanWest, which generates funding for a charity organization called Child's Play that brings like video games and consoles to kids in hospitals and stuff like that. So that was cool. But yeah, before I did that, I had to get this episode out. So like for the editing, it was like literally a 30-hour straight process. No sleep. Just sitting at my computer for 30 hours straight, cutting all this together with a few smoke breaks in between. You know, it was just brutal, like sort of being a quarter of the way done at like 11 at night and going, oh my god, I'm never going to finish this in time. And then sort of psyching myself up to keep going and then finishing it halfway, and at this point it's like 5 in the morning. And at this point I just want to shoot myself in the fucking head. I'm like, okay, calm down, I'll just go get some Subway. Get some Subway, everything will be cool, come back. I'll be all fresh, and I'll get the rest done. And I came back, came back, and I certainly wasn't fresh. Felt like a fucking zombie the whole time. The blood was drained to my face, my eyes are stinging with sweat and tiredness. Oh my god, it's a horrible feeling, but I somehow I got through it, like I always do. So yeah, you're watching the director's commentary for the finale, and I already said that, but I said it again because I didn't have anything else to say. So now I'm gonna think of other stuff to say now. So what else can I talk about other than restating the obvious? Finales are always really fun for me. Horrifying and fun. Like, they're very stressful. I don't know, it's sort of like it's really good and really bad. It's like, oh man, I've got so many loose ends to tie up, you know, to make this ending satisfying. But then there's sort of a cool way of looking at that, where it's like, oh man, I get to tie everything up and make it all epic and stuff, and really make the show go out with a bang. And yeah, I was sort of, you know, really excited and really daunted, and I think it turned out pretty good. And I knew this scene coming up with Arbiter and Master Chief taking out the guards while all the warthogs explode in the background. I knew that was going to be like an iconic scene that was going to be remembered for a while. And funny enough, that wasn't even planned from the beginning, because like, you know, I made that cliffhanger in the premiere, and I had no idea how they were going to take out the guards from that point. I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll figure it out later, whatever. And then about halfway through the season, you know, I realized, like, from the beginning, I knew they were going to be coming in with cheats, but I didn't know what kind of cheats. And then when I actually started planning that out, like thinking about what cheats exactly they were going to have, I realized, you know, oh man, what if they had a destroy all vehicles cheat? And all those warthogs are parked around the guards in the parking lot, and if they all exploded at once, they would turn around to see what the commotion was, and then Arbiter in Chief would assassinate them with all the flames in the background shooting up. And I was like, oh my god, that's so awesome, people are gonna love that. So I did, but that also presented a critical flaw because they end up fighting the sisters in Falcon. So you ask yourself, why the fuck didn't they just use that cheat to blow them up too? So there's a huge gaping plot hole there, but thankfully a lot of people just kind of looked past it and appreciated it for what it was, and I'm grateful for that. It is a considerably large plot hole, though. I mean, I try and keep them tight, but that was a pretty obvious one. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the writing process. Particularly with finales for my shows, it's always stressful because I end up overanalyzing my scripts. And if you do that and you rewrite it too much, you start losing a certain raw energy that you capture in the first draft. And you know, with the script for this episode, like, I kept rewriting the first scene over and over with, you know, Claire and Trent and Josh, just like the little setup scene before the live action sequence where they're getting their cheats ready. You know, I'd finish one draft of the scene and then, you know, constantly ask myself, is this good? Is this funny? I can't tell anymore, because, like, you know, you work on something for so often. For so often? Does that make sense? Fuck. So I say a stupid thing like that, and then I have to, you know, do I start the commentary over, or do I just keep going, and then people will forever know me for saying that shit? You know, he said that? What the fuck's he talking about? But okay, I'm just gonna keep going, because fuck it, that's why. So, yeah, I kept rewriting this scene, and you know, you work on something for so long, and you scan it over so many times for errors and stuff, that you sort of begin to lose objectivity. You sort of become numb to your own material, and it's like, you know, you're questioning yourself. Is this? I can't tell if this is good. Can someone please tell me if this is funny or not? And I think that's sort of neutralized in a group environment where, like, say you're part of a team in, like, a writer's room where you're just, like, bouncing gags off one another. Because you have other people to, like, you can sort of gauge their reaction and their laughter and body language to tell if, like, your gags are good or not. But with me, when I'm writing, it's just me alone with my thoughts, and, you know, I lose faith in myself, and I don't, like, I stop trusting myself, like, oh, maybe this isn't funny. So it's important to have some downtime where you sort of, especially if you're a solo writer, it's really important to have some downtime and to put away your script, and then sort of, you know, bring it out again later with fresh eyes and look it over. You know, give yourself some time to gain some of your objectivity back, and then go over it again and see if it's funny or not, see if you laugh. And that was definitely the case with the script for this. Yeah, the whole script went through quite a few rewrites before I came out with a draft that I was kind of more or less satisfied with. And a lot is to be said for Elizabeth Carr-Ernst, who does the voice of Claire, who really carried a huge load in this season, like, because her character of Claire was pretty crucial to the whole, you know, central theme of the story, which is, you know, is Arbiter just a toy, or is he more than that? Was really the question of the whole thing. Like, what's his purpose? Why is he here? And he sort of gives himself purpose by preventing Claire from making this terrible mistake. So, big thanks to Elizabeth for doing such a great job. What else? I was sort of a little iffy on. I was concerned about the legalities, the legal issues that might be raised as a result of having the Arbiter, my sort of, you know, morally good protagonist, doing something like using cheats and violating the online terms of service to crash a wedding and kill everybody. But I wanted to be careful about it because I didn't want to say, like, you know, oh, cheating is okay, so go do it. I didn't want to do that, so I tried my best to sort of justify his actions in every way, like sort of exhaust all of Arbiter's avenues of action, and sort of like have this as the last resort. Like, he has no other choice but to do this, to do what he thinks is right. And but, you know, at the same time, I didn't want to be too afraid of it, because on the other hand, you want to see your protagonist, you know, just break all the fucking rules and be a badass. And it's no problem with Chief, because he's an asshole by heart, and I can pretty much have him do anything, and no one's really gonna say anything because everyone already knows he's a fucking idiot. So but yeah, it was well received by everybody, and I guess that was just me being paranoid as usual. I'm a very paranoid sort of person. I worry too much about everything. But no, everyone liked it. But actually, this episode, a clip of this episode was shown to the audience at the RVB CanWest screening here in Vancouver, and a large portion of the audience was female. And I was sort of embarrassed because Chief was saying all these sexist remarks to the sisters. And I'm sitting there in the audience just going, oh my god, they're gonna fucking hate me for this. And but no, I think that was just me overthinking it again. Everyone sort of acknowledged that, you know, it's all just in good fun, it's just a joke, and Chief sexism is not endorsing sexism, but pointing out the fact that sexism is a very prominent issue in online gaming. I mean, particularly on just on Reach, I've encountered, and like Black Ops and stuff, I've played with some female friends of mine online, and they take quite a lot of abuse, and it sucks. So something should be done about that. A lot of explosions. compared to the other episodes. I think a problem a lot of people have nowadays with like movies and television and stuff is that people want to jump to flashy payoffs too quickly without setting them up first. And if you want any kind of payoff, you have to have something to set it up. Payoffs need setups and vice versa. Setups need payoffs. And if you want a big payoff, you need a big setup. And you know, this entire wedding crash with all these explosions feels justified because of all the the character development throughout the other 12 episodes in the season. So I sort of went all out with this episode, and it was a little bit like, you know, in South Park where Michael Bay fucking comes in and helps the military, and it was the Imagination Land thing. And Michael Bay's like, okay, then a bunch of motorbikes jump over a volcano like this, and they go, rah! And then Semi comes along and explodes, and it's like, rah! Like that. And there's nothing essentially wrong with that attitude, but you have to, you know, you can have all the explosions in the world, but it's not going to be interesting unless you have the proper character development and motivation in characters, like, to justify the scene. Like, yeah, you can have a bunch of explosions if you want, but is every character in the scene motivated in what they're doing? Is it justified? Is it all believable? I think that's, if you can figure that out, then yeah, go nuts with explosions and stuff. I mean, but I think, yeah, there's a large problem lies in the fact that people want to jump to that sort of flashy explosion stuff straight away without establishing character first. And you need to establish character first, because that's when you boil film down to its essentials, and it's all about demonstrating a little piece of the overall human struggle that we go through. And you need that human element, you know, to make a movie or film or whatever interesting and relatable. And the explosions and big action stuff are just like the icing on the cake. So yeah, setups and payoffs. Gotta have both. Can't just have one or the other. You can't set something up and not pay it off. That's bad too, so. What else? Oh yeah, Greg's big shining moment is coming up. And the music fucking fit perfectly for it. Like, it turned out so good. I'm so pleased. And it synced perfectly with the action on a number of levels, which I'll point out when it comes up. It's sort of just kind of subtle right now and quiet, but yeah, whatever. It's also the very first time you see Greg in a machinima sequence. Like, you see his in-game avatar for the first time, and he has like the shoulders that have the protruding like spikes on them, the curvy spike things, and there's 4 on each shoulder, so there's 8 of them in total, which sort of goes with the fact that he's a spider with 8 legs. And he has a helmet that has like a bunch of eye goggles on the top, and to sort of state that as a spider he has a whole bunch of eyes as well. So there's a lot of things about his armor that worked, you know, in relation to his character, which was pretty cool, along with his emblem, the little spider thing on his chest. But yeah, anyway, right here, the music starts building. You know, Arbiter realizes all his enemies that he banned are now back because Brian lifted the bans off of them. And Greg's about to make his big appearance. And the part where it really crescendos as soon as you see Greg, that was the starting point. Like that, it's like, okay, this piece of music where that crescendo starts, that's where it's gonna start, is right when you see Greg. And then sort of the music that precedes that one moment and the music that follows, I'll just try and make it work. But that one piece of music right there has to go with that shot. That's what I established right away. And there's a number of moments right after that just coincidentally went with the footage. Like when Arbiter stabs Trent in the head, that was coincidental. That just fell into place beautifully. It worked so well. And right here too, when Greg sort of just walks away as the silent hero, and then it's just it worked so good. I was so pleased with how that turned out. And yeah, I mean, I think people really liked that scene with Greg, because like he didn't overindulge, and he didn't have some witty one-liner or anything like that. He stayed true to his character, and he just came in, kicked everyone's ass, and then just left. And that's it. He's not there to impress anybody. He's just there to help his friend out, and then he'll be on his way. And there's a certain... There's a lot of badassery in that, and a lot of dignity, I think. And it was just a really cool moment. It was fun to do. And this scene here is quite a dramatically heavy scene, but I really tried to be careful with the writing, because in the past I've sort of been notorious for laying on drama too thick, particularly with Deus Ex Machina. And I've learned to sort of, you know, smooth my edges a little bit and focus my energies and deliver a dramatic impact, but without laying it on too thick this time. So you know, if I felt it was getting too heavy, I just have Chief say something. Like when Arbiter is fighting Trent in the parking lot, and he says, "I love Claire." The impact of that is immediately shattered when Master Chief promptly calls him a faggot for saying that he loves a girl, which makes no sense that he would use that derogatory term. But it sort of neutralizes that drama and sort of keeps the lightheartedness of the show. And it's really difficult to kind of maintain that balance of drama and comedy, because, you know, it's easy for me to go in the direction of drama. But I've got to always remember to keep it lighthearted too, because it is a comedy show at heart. And it's tough, so. But I think this episode turned out really well. I'm really pleased with how it came out. And couple little shots here that I love. Right here, when Arbiter turns around, sees that Claire still hasn't budged, and genuinely thinks here, wow, she really hates me. I'm such an asshole. And all that is nonverbal. It's communicated with just that little lowering of his head. You know, looks at the ground, sort of reflects on himself for a brief moment, and then turns around and goes on his way. Arbiter. There's no overindulging there. And what I said with the music regarding Greg, where it's like, that musical cue, I want to go with that shot, and then I'll just figure out the rest from there. It was the same with this musical piece with that shot, where you hear Claire calling out to Arbiter, and Arbiter turns around. And there's this really warm crescendo in the music, where it's sort of... taking a few minutes to get myself together. It's a turning point in the music, and also a turning point in the story. And,
Are you kidding?
It just really worked.
Of course I do.
And that wide shot where she's
And you made a hard
running
decision.
across
You stopped me from making a big mistake. Thank you.
running across the path to the silhouette of Arbiter on the far right, and she's running away from the church this time towards Arbiter. It's just a very sort of iconic scene. It was really cool, or iconic shot rather.
I heard you on the lot.
Same thing here. I tried to keep the drama as light as possible, but you don't want to skimp out in the drama too much because it is the finale and you do want to make an impact, but it's a hard balance to maintain. It's a constant balancing act writing the script for this.
And don't ever let anyone tell you different.
And yeah, right there, that was really what sold the season, I think, was
But I'm never gonna forget.
Claire comes to the realization that Arbiter is more than just a toy, and Arbiter learns that he's more than just a toy. That's really what the whole season was about. Because, you know, at the beginning, in the first episode, Arbiter's just this sad sack who doesn't know what his life means. And at the end of the second act, at the Act 2 break, Trent sort of exploits that and, you know, points out to Arbiter, makes it obvious that, you know, you're a toy, your life means nothing, and basically destroys him from the inside. And then, you know, Arbiter, in retaliation in the third act, gives himself purpose and decides to take action and save Claire from Trent. And after that, he realizes that he was more than a toy after all, and Claire realizes that too, and they both grow as characters right there. And it just sort of ties up those character arcs, and it really just kind of sealed the deal of the whole season really nicely. So, and then I couldn't not end this episode without. Wait, did I just do a double negative there? I couldn't end this episode without having a classic sort of Arby and Chief moment where it's just them doing stuff in the house. And then I came up with the idea for the Scrabble game, and I actually was cracking up putting all these rude words on the board, particularly Blumpkin. If you don't know what that means, that's probably for the best. And Google it at your own risk, because you know, it's pretty fucking gross. So, but gross shit makes me laugh. So. He flips the board, and yeah, scenes like that, it's all in the editing that really sells that gag. It you know, it really looks like Chief sort of getting up and then leaning down to pick up the edge of the board and then to flip it over, and it's just all in the way it's cut. And coming up is the scene where Arbiter gets his helmet back, and I originally planned this scene with music, but I thought, while I was editing it, I realized it actually felt a lot more powerful for me without having any music. Because there was already a musical cue for the reconciliation between Claire and Arbiter, and I wasn't sure. I didn't think. When I got to this stage in the editing, I realized, like, you know, that part was musically scored, but maybe this part doesn't need it. Maybe this one can be more subtle. And all the emotional energy is instead, you know, placed directly on the visuals. And you just, you know, it's a very slow pan down, and then you see the helmet there, and we hold on that. and you realize, wow, you know, this has been missing for a long time, and, you know, Arbiter is getting a piece of himself back that he thought he lost forever, but he got his helmet back, and he feels more whole. And that was a lot of really cool moments. And this shot right here was very awkward to do. Took a couple takes, particularly because the spider kept falling off the fucking thread because I was using this double-sided Scotch tape that didn't stick to the spider's plastic very well. And I read in some of the comments that people thought that Greg hung himself. I read that, I'm like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's a spider. Spiders hang on webs. You know, that's just what they do. And then to think that the first conclusion people jumped to was that, oh, Greg must have hung himself by the neck there. Why would I fucking end the season with that? Greg hanging himself by his neck. That's so fucking stupid. So, yeah. No. He didn't do that. And yeah, there was, you hear Cortana's voice there. Maybe it's Cortana, maybe it's not. I don't know. So, yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and hope you enjoyed it.